folks, and welcome to the Film Fan Club without Sam Carrico. I'm your interim host, John Lein, and boy, have we got a great show for you. Today, Alex McKellar joins me to talk about Daredevil Born Again, because even though the last time I did a monologue for this show, I said we could all just stop watching Marvel stuff, apparently that's not true. But before we talk about Daredevil, it's time to talk about some upcoming Marvel news. We're a little late on this, but I'm pretty behind on all of my popular media news, so we're just going to roll right through it. Marvel recently released a promo video showcasing the star-studded cast of whatever the next chunk of Avengers is supposed to be called. Lots of big names in it, and it caps off with Tony Stark making an in-person appearance to remind us all that he's coming back as Dr. Doom. Now, I'm not a highly paid studio executive, but hang on a second. Okay, I can't be the first person to have come up with this theory, but it just struck me now. Is Dr. Doom Tony Stark from an alternate universe, timeline, multiverse thing? That seems like the easiest way to explain why it's the same actor. They get to bring Tony Stark back. They're gonna have some scene towards the end of Fantastic Four or something, and the Fantastic Four are gonna rip this Dr. Doom's mask off and be like, Tony, you can be good again. And then Tony Stark will be like, not after what happened to such and such. And then it'll reveal that he's actually Tony Stark and he just built a different Iron Man suit and became evil. Okay, listen, this got off the rails really quickly. I'm gonna skip the other prepared jokes that I had. To be honest, they weren't very good. I don't really know how Sam did it all these years. He probably went Rogue Protocol specifically to get some vacation time, so we're just gonna get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Film Fan Club show. I already did a whole intro. Our guest today is Alex McKellar. Alex, come on in. Let me bring you in here. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How
How are you?
Good, I'm good.
I'm tired.
Me too. We had to watch Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. And boy, do I feel unborn again. No, it's terrible.
Anyway, let's get started, Alex. Thoughts on Daredevil Born Again? General, overarching ideas.
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like incredible. I mean, it was, I guess, cool. I had heard of like the buzz beforehand was Disney's making a show that's like violent. They haven't Disneyfied, the Daredevil show that we all know and love. We all remember the hallway fight scene in season 1 that was hardcore and badass. And for the most part, yeah, it was like I feel like they kept a similar tone. It's been a while since I've watched the first, like the Netflix seasons or any of that, so I didn't have perfect memories of everything. But I mean, while not like, the most groundbreaking or craziest thing, I would say it was fine.
The original Netflix show.
Or both, yeah. This new one. I think the first season of the Netflix show was, or I mean, maybe it's just I have fonder memories of it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I thought it was well made back then. I watched, I guess, all of it that was on Netflix. Not all the side shows, but I think I watched all of Daredevil. It's just been a while. And oh shoot, who plays Matt Murdock? I had it earlier. He's in a fantastic movie called Stardust. Watch that. But it was great to see him like continuing to show up in the MCU sort of as the years went on. And so I'm excited again for him to have this new however many seasons of the show. But the new season on Disney Plus, like I will get into it more, I'm sure. Like it was good, but it wasn't. Oh wow, everyone rush out and watch this.
I thought it was fine, mostly the same. There were elements of it I really liked, and there were elements of it that I was like, oh, this is lame. Some of the action scenes were really well done. some of the like episodic arc narrative elements, like it's got an overarching narrative, but it also has 2 or 3 episode chunks that have more specific narrative through lines. I thought some of those bits were pretty good, interesting things. The overarching narrative was a little bit same thing I've seen 100 million times before. And I don't know if I've just seen it 100 million times before because it was the same elements as the Netflix show. The whole Daredevil, self-loathing, what is violence, what is human nature, what is decency, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't really love that about the Netflix show either. So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that. It is. So I haven't most of my experience with Daredevil is either this show or the Ben Affleck movie that we all know and love. And it's like, yeah, this is what Daredevil is, man. It's a Irish Catholic blind guy who's like tough as hell and really good at karate, beating the hell out of people and like feeling bad about it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, like none of the takes I've seen, which I'm sure there's some pretty cool ones out there. I'm sure there's some rad as hell takes on Daredevil or like using that to explore other ideas. But none of the like that's just that's what it feels like. That's what Daredevil media is, baby.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a superhero that's also got Catholic guilt, and sometimes it's interesting.
More of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
All right. Yeah. Any specific things you liked about it?
I mean, again, all of the acting, like every actor that they casted this, it just is incredible. Like John Bernthal as Punisher, he's great. Just absolutely killing it. Vincent D'Onofrio was born to play Kingpin. I know we like to joke, that Alex from Never Stop Blowing Up, but like for real, they're the best penguin Kingpin. But then Vincent D'Onofrio, he's still incredible. And I was gonna look up his name, but then I forgot. The guy from Stardust. Watch Stardust. He's incredible as Daredevil. I don't know why his name won't stick in my head. Charlie Cox. There it is. Charlie Cox.
I knew it had 2 C's in it. I was just like, what is it?
My brain was just sort of like, but yeah, I mean, again, all the performances were incredible. I think my favorite episode was the bank heist episode with the Irish bank robbers. It
was like the most contained.
Yeah. Well, it was cool because you got to watch him do like a little bit of, his Batman routine where he's like figuring out stuff. I loved when he cracked the safe like with his super hearing. He was just like
while having a conversation. I kept expecting him to be like, "Hey man, I need you to be quiet, please." But nope, he's superpowered.
This is when we're flexing his superpowers. It was rad, and then he beats the shit out of that guy at the end. That was rad.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. And then mostly the performances throughout. I did enjoy Punisher, although it's like, I was speed running this season and also watching it in the background of doing some other stuff. So I don't know the full build up for the Punishers, what he was doing, why he was there, other than he and Matt are friends.
It was pretty sparse. I think he showed up like 2 times beforehand.
Yeah.
And then he comes in for the finale.
Yeah, I did like him going and killing all the dork, or as many of the dork cops as he could that tried to look like him because they're like, yeah, we're back, we kill bad guys, so we are Punisher. Classic
Punisher skull on their bullet casings.
Yeah. Just dork shit, man. Just fucking nerd shit. Which it's fine. I've got Mission Impossible t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, but you
like it's fine. Yeah, I know. I don't use it. I'm saying it's cool to be a fan of stuff, but like they're the guys in hockey pads from The Dark Knight, and they're acting like they're badasses, and they're
And they're
not.
also actively criminal too, right? Like they're all
Yeah,
the shittiest cops, the ones that the bad apples.
right. Yeah, but they're like, that's what Punisher is. See, he works outside the law and he murders poor people, so we can work outside the law to murder poor people too, and it makes us the same. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get more of Punisher from Disney.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a new Punisher show. I like the
Yeah.
Netflix ones of that.
Yeah.
Probably more than I like the Netflix Daredevil shows.
I don't remember if I saw all the Punisher ones. I know I saw at least the first one, and I can't remember if there were 2 or 3, because I think I saw most of another one. But again, it's good. Also, speaking of John Bernthal, I hear the new accountant. Well, the first accountant is great, and he's in that. And the new accountant just came out, and I haven't seen it. So maybe it's good. Hopefully it's good. I was just thinking about it.
I don't think I've seen the first one.
Oh, yeah. Ben Affleck plays a guy on the spectrum who's
also
an accountant. Yeah, and a hitman. Well, yeah, it's fun. It's a good movie.
Cool.
It's a good time.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff on my watch list. What have you been watching lately? We can stop talking about Daredevil.
Yeah. Watch Daredevil. No, again. So I watched Daredevil.
If you like the Netflix series, watch the new one.
I think it's
close.
There's definitely some highlights. It wasn't a show that I was mad that I watched, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I could have gone my whole life without that stupid fucking show. But so this is way better than that. Not quite Andor. Andor was rad, where I was like, ooh, nice. But it wasn't like, oh, god damn, why are we here? Everything about this is so boring and sad. And then it makes stupid lines worse in the rest of the verse. It's just such a bad show. God, I hate Obi-Wan Kenobi. Not the man, the show. Maybe him too. I don't know.
Not the fictional character.
Yeah. Yeah. But other things I've been watching: Dimension 20, Never After, Brendan Lee Mulligan, this incredible storyteller, and then also the greatest thing on YouTube, The Mighty Boosh live at Brixton. It's fucking hilarious.
Is that a new thing that they've made?
No, it's so old. It's the highest
their
quality
old live show that I've watched. The highest, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was like, the highest quality is 480p. It's so funny. But it's but the whole thing is so good. They're such good entertainers on stage.
Mighty Boosh is awesome.
Yeah, it's like proto anti-Donna and all this like other stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like, God, they're like improv, their riffs, their stage presence, so fucking funny. Howard Moon comes out and then they do his whole intro and he eats his own applause. And they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm eating the applause. And then they do Vince's intro and he eats some of Vince's applause. He's like, oh, it's so heavy. It's like a fruitcake. And they're like, never eat another man's applause. And it's just, it makes me happy. It makes me smile. More so than Daredevil did. But also Daredevil was about being like, oh, dang, I punched someone real hard. And now I kind of feel bad. So it's not necessarily the happiest show all the time. So I'm just gonna let my ADD take over. Hi, welcome to the show.
This is exactly what Sam wanted.
Yeah. If you know where Sam is, drop a Dear Sam in the comments for all you Sev heads out there. Watch the full episode that John and I recorded. What was the point of Muse? Like, was he better established than my brain thought when he like became the antagonist just so like some other shit could happen?
I think they have like, okay, so Daredevil has his therapist girlfriend, and she has written a book and she does a book signing, and a scrawny white dude shows up and says, Doc, I need help. can you work me in? And she says, yeah, okay, we can work some stuff around. And then we see her in her office later, and we think it's going to be that dude, and it's Fisk. And so that turns into all the stuff about the therapist is her treating Fisk and Mrs. Fisk,
right,
for their marital stuff. And then I feel like there were probably scenes that were cut for time where maybe she treated the scrawny white dude, and we like got to know him as a character a little bit. But
and then also
then he becomes
he was in Taekwondo. He was so
That's
good
right.
at it.
He was forced to do Taekwondo as a child and then killed his teacher somehow.
Yeah.
He got super good at it and then killed his teacher and became Darth Vader. And then sucks the blood out of people to put it into paint so that he can paint murals. Which, that was the thing, like, they revealed that in like the first episode, they hint at these murals popping up around the city, and you see shots of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're like cool, kind of like superhero themed. Like there's one of Kingpin and there's one of the Punisher logo. There's one of White Tiger, who's a character in the show. And they're like good murals. And then it reveals when Muse becomes a villain that they're made with human blood, and the artist is a serial killer who uses human blood to make the paint impossible to remove.
Mr. Penn, I can't clean the walls because it's a special kind of thing. I tried everything. I tried sandblasting. I tried soap and water. Those are the two things that I have tried. To the point, tell the mayor why you can't clean it. And he's like, well, so it started when my buddy Jimmy went down to the bowling alley and he bought new shoes. And they're just like, fuck, get on with it. And he's like, it's blood and epoxy. I don't know. It's crazy. Nothing can clean it. It's there forever.
Yeah, because I guess blood and epoxy makes a permanent paint.
I don't know. I just remember kind of zoning back in at that point because they were telling a guy that was one of my favorites on screen to not talk so much. And I was like, why? He's so funny. So me and the boys, we were going down and we seized the mural and we're like, Mr. Penn, he don't like paint, so we gotta get it down. Oh yeah, the poetic intercutting of Kingpin and Daredevil are the same actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. They do the same fight moves.
Yeah. And like, yeah, just like editing to say that they're like, let's juxtapose these two. Look at them. And, Daredevil was fighting a mass murderer and Kingpin was beating the shit out of a guy that his wife spent time with while he was in hiding. And the show was like, look at this. Look at the two sides of the same coin. Am I right? It's
I was thinking it was like, so it definitely my instinct
I think it's
to
like
that editing,
their connection.
Yeah, like they've built each other, right? Like over the course of their relationship, they've developed their fighting style, adopted each other's kind of like moves. But it definitely was like, oh, this is the same thing. And then they both kind of express, well, maybe not guilt, because Kingpin doesn't feel guilty, but they both express like a sense that violent nature in them makes them bestial or whatever. I don't know. I feel like the show's,
They got that dog in them, John. They got
that's right. That's the same dog in both of them.
There's a dog in everybody, and it's the same dog, the big bad wolf. Oh yeah, the filmmaking in this one. I don't remember specifically how they showed Matt Murdock's like hearing as like a superpower in the Netflix show. Might have been similar to this, but it like really stuck out to me in this adaptation, this version, this one. Like just using different film techniques to like show his super hearing. I thought that was really well done.
Like what? Like I remember mostly the use of sound to do it. Like they kept doing this thing where like his sound would what we were hearing would broaden and then focus.
Yeah. Right. But so we would get like the sounds, but then they also would like use like fisheye lenses to sort of help us focus on what he's focusing on. There was like a whole sequence where they used the aspect ratio. They like it, like the thing went like full frame and then like zeroed in again. So there was just like different things to like that were like visual, you know what I mean? That like helped us not like see along with good sound cues to know it's time to use your ears, or Matt's using his ears. But like I just thought it was like clever that they did kind of keep mixing up or using different ones, whether it was, you know, like a simple one is like, oh, we're gonna like just focus on this thing over here, we're just gonna cut from this shot to this shot, but they used some different things to help show his hearing. I don't remember which episode specifically there was like aspect ratio. It might have been when they're at the party where Matt gets shot trying to save Penguin, but I knew it was coming and I was like, I'm not gonna correct myself. Saying Penguin's just funnier. But yeah, I thought they did a good job. That more good, you get a gold star.
Yeah, agree.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. So, well, no, I was like, there was something else in our conversations that wasn't John just like really, really saying mean things about poor people. So I'm not gonna put those.
I say
out.
mean
No,
things in private texts.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm an animal.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him. But one thing that did cross my mind during the Kingpin blackout and like being taken over by Punisher SS was like, is there no Avengers that you could call? Like, what is everyone doing? I get it. Tony got Thanos snapped. Everyone forgot they have Spider-Man's number. But like, Spider-Man's still in New York. Like, New York's in blackout and there's Punisher cops like murdering people in the streets. Like, is Peter just like, oh, I better deliver my pizzas so I can figure out how to get Mary Jane to remember me? That's because he's owned by Sony. But yeah, I just kept being like, it is no one. I was like, again, maybe all of the people that would check are dead or busy. I haven't seen
White Tiger's dead.
Captain America, whatever the
Captain
new
America.
one's
Oh yeah, I didn't actually watch that movie.
Brave New World.
Because I said in the episode about that, I was like, yeah, we can just not watch Marvel stuff, and then I proceeded to watch Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. It's okay. Listen, you got that dog in you. Sometimes you still want to watch a show, or maybe it was put in the comments of one of the episodes, and so Sam forced us to watch it. We'll keep the lore going. Yeah, and then it pissed me off that they had their own RRR thing that they're gonna do, even though I feel like that's a pretty common thing. I just RRR was better.
Oh, they're little like, we're gonna rise up together and rebel.
And whatever. Yeah, it was.
Well, that's just the cliffhanger to get you to commit to watching the second season. You gonna watch the second season?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows, man? Who knows? Because there is stuff about it that I liked. You know, I mean, if there's a sequence where John Bernthal as Punisher just fucking goes ham and kills all of those cops, I'll probably watch it.
Oh, I feel like
that scene.
That scene.
Yeah, at least.
They're definitely doing a thing where he's got like a lung issue, right? Because I feel like every time there was a Punisher fight scene, he was like wheezing audibly while murdering people.
Yeah, well, the last one. No, the last one, I do think that started, but I feel like it's because he like took like a blast to the chest from a gun in his bulletproof vest. He's like, ugh, but maybe there's something else going on with it.
I feel like he had it in the fight in Matt Murdock's house too, in his apartment.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember how much of it. Yeah, how much of it starts like when it like just is it John Bernthal doing? I've just been shot and I'm still alive and I'm tough as hell, but like I'm a human and I got shot, so I'm like, or if there is more going on.
That was a good John Bernthal and Punisher growl.
Thanks. He's great. I love John Bernthal.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I like him. He does good work at whatever character he's given, even if it's not necessarily in the best project.
Yeah. So hopefully they give him more to do, or like give him a Punisher season. Because the cliffhanger, the thing that I was able to watch, the post credits, again, it wasn't much. He's just doing that class. He's like, "Hey man, I'm John Bernthal. I'm a famous actor, and you got me in a cage. And I understand you got to do what the Kingpin wants you to do." I don't know. I've completely lost it. I'm doing the boast of the whatever. But so he's like, "And I respect what you're doing, man." He's like, "Put her there." He just puts his hand
respect what you're doing, keeping me in a cage.
Yeah, I don't remember what is said at all. I just sort of zoned back in, and he's getting about to shake this guy's hand, and everyone knows except the idiot. Because, the cops obviously gave their least favorite, dumbest cop the job of watching Punisher so they could play cards and talk about murdering poor people. And that they don't want to do it with fucking stupid Two Toes Johnny. They're like, "Yeah, go watch him."
Two Toes Johnny. He's got one toe on each foot.
Go watch the prisoner. Quit telling me about your toes.
He talks about his toes all the time. Oh, my God. I'm Two Toes Johnny. I only got 2 toes.
So they send him down.
Oh, best bit of this fucking podcast.
They send Two Toes Johnny. And he gets his arm broken. Punisher just fucking the sound effects are right as they shake hands, it sounds like every bone in that guy's hand is broken. Frank Castle's got monster grip.
2 toes, 1 arm, Johnny.
Yeah. He's got too many things. But yeah, that was cool. That made the season. I was happier at the end than before when it was oh, there's nothing. Kingpin's just taken over, and we're going to have a season that promises crazy dynamics and political changes, but probably everything will go back to normal. And Kingpin will still be alive because they have to keep doing this dance forever. It's
they got to keep churning out content. As long as they
keep making money, alive, hand over fist. Hey, got there.
Disney.
Yeah. They're crazy. They got that dog in them for
owning everything. It's a very complex dog. What else can we talk about?
What else did we talk about?
The music was not bad. I liked some of the music choices.
Music was good. Oh yeah. Did you ever come down on the side? Do we hate Daredevil's condescending therapist girlfriend, or do we feel bad for her?
You're right. It's both. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like,
¿por qué no los dos?
As a therapist, you'd think that she would have a wider understanding of the concept of masked activities beyond either their immature man children or their violent psychopaths, right?
No,
the complexity of the issue is broad.
Yeah. Not John, she's a woman and an intellectual.
That's right. That's the best.
She ain't reading comic books. She thinks they're for children. Because they were in the beginning.
That's true.
Nothing changes. I did. I did get that vibe of we need this character and okay, she's interested in the mind but she's a therapist, but also I'm gonna write a book about masks. and I'm going to use literal, you know what I mean? It's just like, there could have been such a much more interesting and like thoughtful approach from someone like that. But instead we get the classic, like, oh, I mean, I also get that it was like a trauma response to nearly, right? Because she says all
Well,
that
she's
stuff.
being condescending about that kind of stuff to Matt before Meet the
That's
Muse
true.
stuff. The Muse stuff
Right.
just
It
locks
sort of
her
elevates
into
all of it.
masked
Yeah.
people are psychopaths, which
Right.
kind of is another like step in weird to me, because she, like, that whole narrative resolves with her pulling a gun out of her desk or picking it up off the ground or something and putting 3 bullets into Muse.
Right.
So like she does the
One for
killing
each
violence.
Muse. Right.
And then I guess she goes, the men that did that with masks on are bad.
The guy that was there seemingly trying to save me is just as bad as the guy that I murdered.
And then turn that into, I'm going to go work as Fisk's chief of mental health or whatever the position is called. He's just I want you to be my chief head of mental health in New York City now that I've instituted an 8 p.m. curfew.
Yeah, New York is diseased. We're doing safer streets. It'll make stop and frisk, whatever they said. Stop and Fisk. They should have called it Stop and Fisk.
They should have called it Stop and Fisk. Kingpin would be so much better if he was constantly making puns about his.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm just being funny today.
Watch Never Stop Blowing Up.
Yeah. Well,
fantastic.
We haven't even finished it, but it's what we've seen is so good. I did like getting to see Kingpin crush that dude's head. Although I don't know, like, why didn't it just like, why'd they have to do the weird part where it's like, oh, I slipped and just part of his face is all ripped off.
Yeah, it like breaks his jaw off and crushes in the top of his skull.
Yeah.
And so it's not like but like the whole buildup is him equal sides crushing.
Yeah.
I feel like they did it the same way in the Netflix show. I think he crushes somebody's head in the Netflix show and they do it the same way because I guess it's more realistic that he'd be able to break the weak point of the jaw.
I guess, yeah, fair enough. But I was just like, it was just kind of weird. And
then
also all those people just, all of those people just standing there watching it happen, questioning
all of those cops
for a minute. Yeah,
they watch him crush the head of the chief of police of New York City.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
the commissioner. Yeah.
I guess we're accessories to murder now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they already were murdering out there in the streets.
That's true. What's that? For some reason, we see a shot of 2 cops, like during the blackout. Typical. There's a blackout, and the city devolves into insane, spontaneous violence and looting because people all have a dog in them.
Well, yeah, they had that. They all got that dog in them.
And then the cops shoot that guy. They're like, put your hands up, put that stuff down. And he puts his hands up, and then they shoot him. And then one of them is like, Jesus, he's just a kid. And he pulls a beanie that the guy is wearing.
He's like, nah, he's a suit. He's in a mask. He was protecting the robber who robbed this store. The robber got away. But they do.
Thank God we got this guy.
Yeah. They do have like a bit, because it's like there's people protesting Stop and Fisk, and then the power's gone out. You know what I mean? So they have that sort of classic, like, again, it felt like, now that you've mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, it does feel like there's a lot of the cutting room floor, because like the sort of unrest of the city around Fisk is just, it's like sprinkled in here and there. You got BB, the BB report, and she's like doing like
man on the street
outreach, journalism, but then also some other form of like more hard-hitting journalism.
She references that not everything she writes is in her name, which implies that she's doing something. I was thinking maybe she was going to be like a vigilante.
Maybe.
And what she writes being a broader metaphor for the things that she does.
writes in the blood of the criminals. She's got that dog in her.
The good version of Muse.
Yeah. She doesn't use epoxy. It's just blood.
It's just blood, and it only comes from bad guys.
Only bad guys. She tests the dogs that they have, and then she kills them. Yeah, but so I mean, there's like some of that sprinkled throughout. So it is like, you know, the classic. You know, people are protesting, and then there are some people taking advantage of the chaos, which also in modern American times, where things are super expensive and the rich people have all this stuff. I mean, why not go? I mean, don't get shot by the cops because they're there to protect property. But like, you know,
make sure that you wait until there are no cops on the street with you before you break a glass window and steal a TV. Otherwise, they will shoot you.
Be careful. Yeah, they will. Keep your cell phone camera rolling.
What do you think about you know, spoilers?
This is not legal advice.
Should have had the spoilers up before. But what do you
spoilers,
think about,
the commissioner gets his head crushed by a penguin.
That's right. Daredevil jumping in front of the bullet.
For Fisk?
Saving Kingpin, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him. I like the sort of buildup of him realizing that it is the wife, my wife, that was the one that got his buddy Foggy killed. You know, all of those things. To then lead up into this, like knowing he's gonna take the shot. Because again, I was sort of like mostly listening and like sort of keeping an eye. So I couldn't tell like when it happened. I didn't want to go back to check. Was like, did Matt, because he can't see, like get in the way of a bullet that could have hit either Kingpin or his new lady?
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like from his perspective. But it was like definitely going for Kingpin. Like Kingpin.
Well,
she was dancing with Kingpin. He was dancing with Lady Kingpin. And so that's where I was like, you know, was there like also I think of like, oh, therapist might get shot if I don't help move in this direction. I couldn't remember.
Think so.
They've made each other, John. Of course. Matt will let thousands of other people die by not killing Kingpin, but he will not kill or let Kingpin die.
Yeah, there's an element of like so before the shooting, Matt goes to the prison to talk to Bullseye. Because Bullseye Bullseye is like, I'll tell you who hired me to kill your friend if you get me out of general population prison.
Right.
Because for some reason in Gen Pop, the normal, not super powered criminals are going to be able to kill Bullseye, I guess.
Right.
He's in fear of his life. And there's a line where he says, that's what good men do, right? They defend their worst enemy. And then Daredevil bashes his head against the table 3 times and then calls in the guard and says he just started doing that to himself because Daredevil has that dog in him.
He got that dog in him.
That assault allows Bullseye to escape from prison because it knocks a tooth loose and then he spits it out at a guy so hard that it goes through his eyeball and then he escapes.
It's because he never misses, John.
That's right. He's Bullseye.
I remember in the movie, one of the Daredevil movies, like when is it who plays
Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell kills that one lady with a peanut by flicking it around and she dies on the airplane. And then he's like, can you get us some more peanuts?
I liked him as Bullseye.
Yeah, he was crazy. He's like, doing his crazy Colin Farrell face. It's just like zero direction. You're really good at making shots and you're crazy. And he's like, I've got it. I can do that. Yeah. And I murder a wee lady on a plane who's being annoying. I'd love to do that.
Colin Farrell was just spitballing ideas for who he could kill.
Yeah. I had a fucking terrible flight over here. Could we shoot a scene? All right.
It'd be cathartic for me.
Yeah, it also make me seem like a real piece of shit. I've got that dog in me. But yes, okay, yeah. So he's like, don't tell me that I save people that I don't like, because that makes me feel bad when I'm gonna do it. So I bash your face, but secretly that helps you, because now you have a projectile, and as soon as you have a projectile, everyone around you could be killed at
and then
any
when
moment.
the guy who tells him good men defend their worst enemies is getting ready to kill Daredevil's actual worst enemy, then Daredevil does jump in the way of the bullet for some reason, which in doing facilitates the authoritarian takeover of New York.
Yeah.
You know, if Bullseye had killed Fisk, then we wouldn't have this problem.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could see a world where, the other people, they go kind of crazy.
Well, the
exactly
cops, the Punisher gang probably would have gone insane. The task force, whatever they're called.
Yeah, that's true.
But they wouldn't have had Kingpin killing the chief commissioner.
Right. Yeah.
And they wouldn't have. It's not like Vanessa would have taken over as mayor.
Right. You're right. I also like we didn't talk about him at all. The little guy, the guy that's like, "Oh, Mr. Kingpin, I'll do whatever you want."
Daniel, the young,
and he's like dumb,
social media savvy, political operator guy.
This is our guy. Yeah, no, I liked him a lot. I thought he did a good job. I like when he's got the power. He's like, listen, above all else, I'm fucking loyal, Mr. Pin. There's that whole thing. And then he gets to go in there with them and he's like, listen, corrupt politicians, we all knows you's corrupt. So you're going to let us do stop and fisk. Otherwise, we're going to let the people's knows exactly what they already suspects. You're corrupt. It was a fun bit seeing him like flex his powerful friend while still being a little squirmy dude.
Yeah, I like that scene. I like him. I like his. It was interesting. His early stuff is him being like, "Oh, we're blowing up on social media. We're getting the memes out there," and it's like, "Oh yeah, okay, this guy is new wave political, and as opposed to the other lady."
Yeah.
It was like the old wave political.
The new school versus the old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the old school being like, there's behind the scenes things that might works. And the new kid being like, nah, I like it. There are some interesting stuff in there. It was just also surrounded by a bunch of stuff that was less interesting or like thought. It was just, more of the same.
Not bad, but just boring.
Yeah. Everybody's got that dog in them, John. Daredevil season Born Again.
Except Foggy. Foggy didn't have that dog in him, which is the whole point. It's why Matt Murdock is so sad about it. He has that whole interaction with Punisher
had that
where
lawyer
he's like,
dog in him.
That's right. And he didn't know what he stumbled into when he found out that the
Fist had a free
port.
Yeah.
Which apparently just lets you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. Well, that's what we also learned in Tenet. That was my first thought. I was like, they've seen Tenet as well. Or know about free ports. I don't know. Because they're like, this is a place where all the rich people can store all of their art and never pay no taxes on it. And they can come to our free port and they can look at it. And they can't. But if they move it, it might cost them money. And they think we keep a thing that inverts your entropy here. So maybe that's how we'll fix Fisk's fascist takeover.
We'll use the Tenet machine to go back in time.
Yeah, Daredevil will go in there and he'll go into a big turnstile and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Crazy." And then he's like, "I'll go back just far enough and I'll stop myself from ever getting blind." Because it'll be a butterfly effect metaphor as opposed to he'll just go kill Kingpin earlier or whatever. And then it'll all be saved. Go team.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. I say watch it now. Watch out for the dogs. The dogs and people. Big ups to Johnny Two Toes at the end.
Johnny Two Toes, One Arm. Two Toes, One Arm, Johnny.
Yeah, he gets his arm broke by John Bernthal.
Is it now? Here's a question about Johnny Two Toes.
Okay, we're in the riff spit, everyone.
Do the toes?
This is where the real lore is.
Is he missing 8 toes?
No, it's like a horse. He's got hooves.
He's got one big toe. Okay, yeah. On each.
Yeah,
awesome.
He's gonna be like a horse superhero in season 5. But
it was super villain because he has a vendetta against Punisher for taking away his arm.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
I mean, he's already a dirty cop, so he can't be a.
He's the dumb dirty cop. You know, he's the bad one. He's like whatever the stupid Rick is that all the other Ricks don't like. He's like there.
Oh, he's just there because of circumstance. And he'll figure out that
he's slowly realized that he's gonna be in the hospital with his arm broken, be like, man, I thought I was the same as Punisher because all the other guys, they were like, hey, Johnny Two Toes, we gotta be like Punisher. The fools is there stopping us, and Punisher was always my favorite. And then he broke my arm when I shook his hand, and I realized I saw it all. I was like, he's the real Punisher, and I was on a guys that were a bunch of assholes. So I'm gonna be Mr. Johnny Two Toes Horseman, and I'm gonna protect the little guy.
We should end it on that. That's a good capper. That's an up.
Yeah. Watch the Mighty Boosh live in Brixton. Watch
and be on the lookout for our upcoming pilot, Johnny Two Toes
Horseman at Lodge. I'm a horse lawyer. I gotta protect the little dogs out there.
He's a lawyer too. All right.
Drop a Dear Sam in the comments.
That's right, everyone. Right. Keep your eyes out for Sam. He's goes protocol.
Yeah, see if he's got that dog. All right.